Yes, I think recording
Yeah.
started already.
Yes, you can go.
Yeah. So hello everyone, welcome to Global Biz Apps Weekend 2022, powered by D365 Champs. We hope you are doing great and keeping safe. I'm Goloknath, moderating the session along with Ankush Grover. The session is presented by David Abu. So David will be talking about Dataverse with Power BI. David is a cloud advocate at Microsoft, helping communities and developers build business applications and analytics using Power Platform. David is an innovative data analyst with 4 years of experience in consulting background, leveraging analytic tool in achieving organizational data goals and objectives. He had worked with different industries from banking, fintech, insurance, and training within and outside Nigeria. Before I hand over the session to David, I would like to mention that if you have any questions, please feel free to drop in the chat window. We will take them either during the session, if possible, or during the QA time. Thank you again for joining and enjoy the session. David, over to you.
Okay. From here, I think it's morning, like it is 8:30 in the morning right now. I think 8:33 in the morning. So good morning from Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you for inviting me. So we're just going to dive into the session. I'm so sorry, I'm going to actually off the video so that we can have more seamless session.
No
Okay,
problem. No problem. Yeah.
Okay,
thank
no
you.
issues.
So can you let me know if you can see my screen?
It's visible.
Great. So we'll be talking about Microsoft Dataverse with Power BI. The whole idea is what Microsoft is trying to do is to scale up the power of the Dataverse. Before it was called the Common Data Service. So, but the major thing for us was to show how you can scale it up to any level that you want and more of cloud servicing. So my name is David. I work with Microsoft at the Power Platform Advocacy team. I'm more focused on Power BI. So if you want to follow the things I'm going to be doing in this session, you can just check aka.ms/D365champs. Just put that and you're good to go. You can check that to understand the things about Dataverse, the connectivity, and everything that is within Dataverse. So this is it. So this is where the link will take you to. And you can understand the overview, you can understand the data, the customize, the logic. And I noticed the last speaker was talking about different logic, business rules. Also the data flows, you can see how it connects to the Azure Data Lake. But the major thing for us today or in this session is how do we integrate it with SharePoint? With PowerPoint. Power BI reports. How do we integrate with Power BI reports? So Dataverse connecting to the Power BI. Also, I want to say congratulations to Golonat for MVP. I saw your post. So thank you very much for the things you do for community. Thank you very much. Okay, so to the session of today. Now, the idea about low code is that you want to be able to build stuff very fast. So either you're trying to build stuff for enterprise solution or for small scale solution, the idea is that you want to be able to have the capability of building it very fast. So the power is going from stuff to normal business users being able to build solutions that can solve their own problem. So those are things. So you're trying to see how you connect with external data models, business logics, and security, and every other thing. So also you want to support your data with every existing data that exists. And you also see that Dataverse is connected effortlessly to Office 365 and also Azure integration. Now, one beautiful thing about Dataverse is that it is very smart. You can scale it and there's a high level of security within it. So if you definitely understand how security is in the Azure side, definitely you can also understand the level of security in the Dataverse. Now, what is the overview? You want to be able to see how you store data. The idea is really storing and managing data set itself. So whenever you have your data coming in from Dynamics 365, especially your model-driven applications, you want to be able to, so everything sits on Dataverse, and you know that you can easily or seamlessly connect Dataverse to your Azure any day, anytime. So you also see where you can connect it to your Azure Synapse and to be able to continue whatever things that you want to continue to do. So right now, from Power Automate, Power Apps, Power BI, Power Virtual Agent, the whole AI Builder, everything stays in Dataverse. And Dataverse also connect to SharePoint, connect to different things that you want to be able to connect to. And you can also know that you build things even directly from Teams easily. So just depending on what you are trying to build. Same thing here. You are extending legacy applications. You are building end-to-end solutions using Dataverse. So everything already works under sit on top of Dataverse. So now from data to integration to life cycle to security to the business rules and workflow, or you want to do the reporting side itself or the life cycle. So anything that you're trying to do, just know that Dataverse has the scalability efficiency to be able to build these things to any number that you want it to do. Now, we are trying to look at the things that is behind Dataverse. So you're looking at the TSQL, and I noticed the last speaker showing you some of the SQL things. You also have the reporting sandbox and web. You have different database connected to it. So you are seeing your Azure the Azure powering it also at the back, and you have the event and the extensibility also at the back end. So everything is just powerful. So you're seeing an engine that is connected into every facet of Microsoft technology, and that is how important that Dataverse is. So now is that how does it get secured? So you're seeing at the security level, you're seeing the authentication, the authorization, and the auditing. And definitely you also know that the administration of it is very high. And you want to see the logic, the business rules, and every workflow that is behind it. Then now you're seeing the data, the reporting, the modeling side of it. And now you also have the storage and the integration. So I don't want to bore us a whole lot with this, and if you want it, I can share everything about it, because I know we have a very long way to go. So let me just go into data. So you notice that we are talking about how we connect Dataverse to Power BI, and it's so important to understand how the connection works. So let's see how we can import this how we can import from Dataverse to Power BI. But the first thing that we're going to do is this. We need to first create a table, or we need to create a data set within Dataverse before you connect. So it's normally every Power BI expert would definitely know that you need a data to connect to your Power BI to create a report. So we need to create a data set. So I need to create a business idea that is about car sales. So there's a company that sells cars and to different customers. So different customers comes back to get cars in different brands. So, and we have the cost and also, let's say, the price of it. So we need to build that. So the first thing is that we're going to go is to go to make.powerapps.com, and you want to be able to go to the Power Apps website. Then from there, you go to tables. So in tables, you're going to see where you have new table, you have your data, and in your data, you're going to see it going forward, how you connect or import data. And you see how this data can connect straight up to Azure Synapse or use AI Builder to run some things. Now, in creating a new table, you click on new table and you give the table name. So the table name is the one that you see specifically when you're running your table. Now, the next thing that you want to do, you notice that in the business idea that we are creating for the car sales, we have the customer name, we have the price, we have the location of this customer, we have the car model, we have the car product and the car subcategories, and also we have price and the cost of it. So now in each of them, you just click new column, and to do all those things. So new column right now, you have location, you have data type. The data type is single line of text. We have format text, behavior simple, and required optional. When you change this requirement to be a must, it means that they cannot click it or they cannot just go to the next thing without answering that question or without answering that column name. So that is it, but most of it is optional. So you notice the difference between the location column or the location column and the price column is their data type. So one data type has to do with the text. The second data type has to do with the currency because you're looking at the price. So after creating all the columns needed, you have this set of columns. So you have a customer name column, you have the location column, you have product column, you have the subcategory column, you have the price column, and you also have the cost column. So something like that. Now, why I am showing pictures instead of showing the solution is because of the internet. And it's better this way so that it doesn't also slow us down. So when we want to, after creating the column headers, where you notice that this is empty, there is no data here, so it's empty. So after that, we want to bring in the data sets that we have in Excel. So I've been able to do some examples in Excel. So I want to bring them in here. Now I'm going to go to import. Then I'm going to say import data, then import data from Excel. So I'm going to click import data from Excel. Then after that, I'm going to upload. So I need to click on upload to be able to map out our car sales. Now, after doing that, when mapping out your car sales, you need to be sure of your different columns so that they map up to the things that is being done. So now let's look at this. So you have our car sales, you don't need to set that, but you see the cost, you have to set up the cost in from Excel. So the cost base also I put it in cost, customer name, and like that for all the source value that we have. And after that, you're going to see something called the mapping was successful. So it means that we've been able to bring in the data set that we have. Can you create it from scratch? Definitely yes. But because of it's the demo, I just said, let me just do that in Excel. Then, so I have a whole lot of data sets to show. Now, you can see this right now. We now have the full data set coming in from Excel now in Power Apps. So you notice that the first time where we have this, it was empty at this point in time. So let me go back there. It was empty at this point. Yes, it was empty at this point. But after mapping out everything, you notice that you now have the data sets. So I'm going to go back there to where the data set is now. So we map successfully now. We have the full data set. So now the next thing that we want to do is to now build an app from that Dataverse. Because when you have a Dataverse, you have the data in Dataverse, you want to be able to continue using the data so that when your analyzing in Power BI, the more the data is increasing, your Power BI report is also refreshing and is also increasing. So let's check. So let me take you down to my demo location. So now, right now, when you come here, you can see, so I'm going to just build this thing from scratch all over again. So let me come back here. So I've already set everything up because I remember last year while I was doing this, I know there was a whole lot of technical issues, so I did not want it to repeat this year again. So I just needed to set everything up once and for all. So, but this is the app, but I'm going to show you how we get to this point. So I'm going to go back to the Power Apps. Good. So this is Power Apps. I mean, this is Power Apps, and we want to click from Dataverse. But let me just show you the things that we've done so far that I showed you in my slides. So you have the car sales here. This is the car sales. This is your car sales. And this is where we do everything that you want to do peculiar to car sales. And remember, this is where you do your new column. You click on new column. Power Apps has changed for so many times. So there are different ways now, but this is where you do your new column. And you can see our data sets here that we have here. So anytime a new data is entered, when somebody comes to get a new car, this is supposed to be updated normally. This is supposed to be updated. So how do you build from here? So you go to create and you click on Dataverse. So right now you have to make sure that your connection is on. I'm going to click on this. So, and you have to choose a table. So this is the table here, car sales, and you click connect. Now, immediately you click connect, it's going to just build the app for you. So I don't need to build that since I've already done that already. So now let me go back to here. So since I've done that, so let me go to my app. So this is my car sales. I'm going to go to edit. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons I said that it's better I have it already settled. Okay, good. So now we have this is our data set already. I can play it right now. I have this and I can bring in different new data sets here. Or I can check the different things here and I can just play with it. So you have your name, you have the type of brand of car and everything there. So you have the detail screen that you have for each, and you have your edit screen for everything. So for a whole lot of people who are not Power Apps experts like me, whenever you just click on your Dataverse and connect it to data, and you click connect, immediately builds the app for you immediately without you doing anything. So, and this is the app that we've built. But you remember that I said that when a data set is being done here, it has to update in the Dataverse. So we are going to try it out and see how that works. So now let's do a name, and let's use a name. So Golo today is my friend, so I'm going to use Golo. So now the location is India. So I don't know the product of car that Golo likes, so but I'm going to just use Hyundai. I hope that is your car. So well, let me just use that. And let's use a Sonata product. And let's say it costs like $4,000. Then a $2,000 for the cost. So because we are a car sales, we know how much it costs and how much we're selling. So we're just going to click. That. So now we have to check if Golo is there. Good. So we can see it here. So that is the correct. But we have to check if in the Dataverse that if we have it there. So let's go back to the Dataverse. So I'm going to just go back here. Then since we are here, oh, actually I'm right. Okay, cool. So now we are here right now. So we are just going to just check if we have if we're sure that this is Golo's data is in. So now let's click refresh. So because it's going by ABC, so we have to go to G. So you can see G here right now. This is its data set. So cool. So now you can see that, and it means that Dataverse is working. So what it means right now is that for every data set that we put in as a company, car sales company, it goes to our Dataverse. But the next thing on the agenda is actually we connecting it back to Power BI so that we see how we automate those processes. So now let's head over back to our PowerPoint. So let's head over to our PowerPoint. So now we've been able to build this. We've shown us this. Then, so let's demonstrate how do we connect Dataverse to Power BI. Now, the first thing when you open Power BI, you're going to see this, and immediately you are going to see Dataverse. Immediately you see Dataverse, and you can connect to that. Plan B, if you don't want to connect to that fast, you can go to Get Data, and you can connect to Dataverse here again. You click Get Data, you click Power Platform, and you click Dataverse, and you connect. That is another way for you to connect. So now, after that, they're going to ask you for, you're going to go into navigation, and they ask you for the different things. You also notice, if I take you back to my PowerPoint, you're going to, my Power Apps, you're going to see my productivity. My environment is called personal productivity. Now I'm going to go back here, and you're going to see personal productivity. So I have to open up personal productivity. Then I'm going to now pick on car sales, and I am good to go. So that is just the major thing. And when you click that and you connect, do not ask you for import or direct queries. Now, what do we mean by import or direct queries? Import means that I want to break in that data, and it comes in with what you have currently. So if you have 200 rows, so that those 200 rows is what you are importing to Power BI. That is fine. Direct query means that, no, I want to connect it directly to the source, and immediately a new data set connects. This should refresh immediately without even you clicking refresh. But import, you have to click refresh. But most of the time, everybody use import. So me too, I always use the import. So now, how do we do that in Power BI? So let's go over to Power BI. So let's show Power BI. And the goal in Power BI is that you want to be able to have something like this in the goal. So, but definitely I will not build that here because of time. So, but I'm just going to take you to the Power BI. So good. So now we are in Power BI right now. So after you just go to, you can see the Dataverse, or you can see Get Data. Anyone that you want to use, you can see that. Now, remember, you notice that we've added Golonite transaction or sales transaction in here, but we have to click refresh. So let's click refresh. Let's see if we are going to see sales, that sales here. So let's check. So it's going to take time a little bit, but hopefully we should be able to, it's going to be very, very fast, hopefully. So it's going to evaluate. If you have questions, please, you can just type, keep typing. But okay, good. It's already connecting to the data set. Okay, good. So good. So let's see. Good. Now you notice that Sonata came up already, and you can see that the numbers also changed. So for you also to be sure, we can even also bring in our customer name. So let's bring in a slicer and say customer name. Let's be sure if we are going to have the Golonite here. So you can see him here too. So it means that he actually it got updated. So good. So now it's as simple as that. We can say we've ended here and we are good to go. So we're able to connect to it. So anytime you click refresh, for every time a new sales data is entered in Power Apps, then you're good. Then we are done. But that won't be beautiful. So let's think of another way. Let's assume that you are the manager. So Golonite is our manager, and what he wants to do is he wants to be able to see the back end. Let me give you an example. So we have the front end people who are the sales people. They use the Power Apps. So they go to Power Apps, they type in every customer details and the amount. That is fine. But we want to be able to have a manager being able to do that from the reporting side. So what are we going to do? We want to be able to insert Power Apps inside of Power BI, and you don't need to actually go to Power Apps to actually put in your data set. So how do we do that? So now you're going to see this. So I'm just going to show you using using my normal slide too. So let's see that. So now let's build Power Apps in Power BI. So first things first, you're going to use the Power Apps visual. You bring in the Power Apps visual. When you bring in the Power Apps visual into your dashboard or into your canvas, it's going to ask you to choose an existing app or create a new one. Choose an existing app or create a new one. The difference is this. If you choose an existing app, that is fine. You can work with that. It just means is that the app that you currently have in your Dataverse, you can use that or create a new. Create a new. This is it. Let's assume that I just need only the name of the customer. I don't need the cost in my reporting because I don't need the cost in my reporting. I just need the price. I don't need the cost. Maybe there's a cost somewhere I can attach or I can connect. I just need only a few things. I just need the product, the sub-product, the customer name, and the price. I am done. So I want to be able to add that inside of my report and to be able to just refresh without going to Power Apps at all. So now, when I am done creating that, I'm going to click new, create new. Then it's going to take me to Power Apps again. In Power Apps, I'm going to build it. Then, if I go back to my Power BI, I'm going to see this, and the new app is called Check Sales. Then I'm going to just click Add, and I'm good. But let me show you that in Power Apps. So this is it. When we come here, you can see this called the Power BI integration. Because I clicked on Create New in Power BI, it's going to give me the Power BI integration because it's integrated with that Power BI report. But if I click Choose App, it won't add that because already it does not have a Power BI integration. So that is one of the differences. You don't connect directly to Power BI if you choose an app. You connect directly to Power BI if you create an app. So or a new one. So now both of them are using the same Dataverse. Remember, so the same data is still going there. So just don't forget that the same data is still going there. So now let's go on. So remember, I said I don't need every data set to go there. So I just need only customer name, location, product, subcategory, and this. I am done. But I needed to do a little bit of tweak. So immediately I click submit, you'll notice something in submit. I did something. I needed to click submit form, reset the form back into a new one, then navigate. I'm going to explain car sales .1 later, but submit form, reset, car sales, then navigate. So navigate back to screen 2. What is screen 2? Let's check. What is screen 2? Screen 2 means this is successfully completed. And our new sales means navigate, go back to screen 1. That's just what it means. It says go back to screen 1. As simple as this. So it's just a simple thing. So let's go back there. Let's go back there. So let's go back to Power BI. So in Power BI right now, I have another page here. So I have been able to insert it here. So let's check. So it's going to load. and boom, we have it here. As simple as that. So I don't need to go anywhere. I don't need to go back to Power Apps anymore. So immediately I put, and I said, oh, okay. I think that Nikita says that she also wants to buy a car from our car sales shop. So I'm going to click on Nikita. I'm going to type Nikita. Then location is India. Then she saw Golonad car and said, wow, I love this car. So I'm buying the same product. So let's use that, the same product, and let's go with Sonata. And maybe by that time, it has gone up from 4,000 to 4,005. But Nikita said, I don't care about the price. I need this car. So she submits. So she comes and buys it. Then we insert it in. And remember, we already done the app, your new sales. We done back, but we needed to be sure if Nikita sales is in here. So now let's go back. Now this is 14,000. This is 156,000. So plus 4,005, it means that we're going to 161. So let's refresh and let's see. Hopefully that works. So right now, I don't need to go back to my Power Apps to do those things. So a manager might just come in here and do what he needs to do, different from somebody who's in the field making that sales. So different scenarios for different things. So let's see. Good. I think that we did that. Okay, cool. Now, Sonata is actually the leading product of everything. Sonata is now the leading product of everything. Okay, so Nikita sales alone came out here. You can see Nikita sales alone came out here for 4,005. That is a whole lot. That is a whole lot. Okay, cool. So now that is good and good. So let's go to, but right now, remember that we can't use, we can't stay here. We have to go to our Power BI service. So we have to update and go to our Power BI service. So let's click publish. And so if you have questions, just keep, but I'm making sure that it's so easy to follow, and we take it a step at a time. So I'm going to replace one there, because if you're doing a new report, definitely you're not replacing anything. But because I have the same type of reports there, so I'm just going to replace it there. So I can go with the new figure. So it's just publishing. It's just taking a little bit of time. Hopefully it does finishing publishing. If not, I'll just take you straight. Okay, good. So we have this already. So let me just go back to our Power BI over here. Where is Power BI? So I'm coming. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to, let's click. So it's going to take us to the Power BI service. Good. So now in the Power BI service, we already have this already. So now, and this is it, it's as simple as possible. And it means that we have this, but we remember that because it's already done and automated, I'm going to take you back there, is that we want to be able to update immediately. So right now, you don't want to, because if you click refresh right now, it might just not work, because is that you have to refresh on your Power BI desktop, then you have to now publish the next set every time. But you don't want to do that. So what we did in our Power Apps, remember what we did in our Power Apps was to do something in Power Apps in this. So if you look at this Power BI integration, we need to bring in a Power Automate. Now in that Power Automate, we did something in, let me show you what we did in Power Automate. We brought in a Power Automate, so let's click on edit. So Power Automate will help us do the automation easily. like easily. So we said the Power Apps, we connected to Power Apps. So if you want to do the Power Automate, you can start it directly from the app. So you just come in here, click from your app, you click Add Flow. Immediately you click Add Flow, it takes you to your Power Automate and you continue from there. So now this is it. And I said you should refresh the data set, car sales demo. You should just refresh it, car sales demo. That is fine. And we can test it here. We can just test here with a recent one. So let's pick that and let's just test. And you can see that it ran successfully. So good, it means that it's working. So anytime, what it means that anytime that we update this from the Power BI service, everything's supposed to be updated immediately. So let's try. So let's use Joshua as a new customer. Then we have Nigeria. Then we have products. Now, what is the products that we are seeing? Let's say Honda, let's say Civic. And we have the price. So what is the price? Let's say 2,000. And let's go here. So we click that and we make sure as simple as this. So it's just as easy, very easy. So that is how it is where we connect everything from Dataverse, Power Apps to Power BI, then for Power BI to Power Automate, for Power Automate back to Power BI service. So everything that we've done so far is automating the Dataverse to Power BI. And that is just how simple it is. It's very fast because I have done a whole lot of backend work to make sure that these scenarios are just easy for you to follow. So now if you have any questions, you can let me know. But many of the things is that if you look at the documentations which I have done so far, so if you can go to the aka.ms/D365 champs, you can just follow it. And also I know that it's recorded, so you can always come back to watch it. So it's so important. If you want to learn it, you can always just check it out. But it's a whole lot of process, very long process, but you can actually get it, and you can always reach out if you have any questions to ask. So any questions? I think I am very fast with my session, so but I am done with my session. Good on that. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any questions? Let me quickly check.
Yeah, I can't see questions, so I guess everybody knows Dataverse to Power BI already.
Absolutely. Great session. Team, any questions do we have? Like we still have 20 minutes, so we can have a Q&A session. So David is available now for all the queries. Any questions?
Yeah, so just I have a question from my side, David. So yes, David, so just you told right to have an integration of the Canvas apps through the Power BI. So anything that you would like to share with our uh, participants, like few things to be considered?
Few things to what?
To consider with respect to the performance, like if you are integrating both the Canvas apps with the with this particular Power BI, because you used the combination of the Canvas app, Power Automate, and also the Power BI, right? So
Yes.
anything that you would like to tell to the participants? That is my question.
Yes.
The second question is regarding the licensing part, like with respect to the
Okay.
Power BI and Canvas app. People, executives would like to see the dashboards only stuff, right? So they will keep on asking us like, okay, how can we do that? All these things. Maybe if you can throw some light on it, it will be good. Over to you.
Okay. Good. Thank you very much. So the first things first is that know the differences between you using direct queries and imports. First things first. So direct queries is so important. Those two methodology are different. So you have to be sure how you do that. So if you're using direct queries, it means that, oh, okay, you are making sure that, oh, direct queries means you are connecting directly to Power Apps, and you have to be very, very sure of your performance. That is something. So, but a whole lot of people prefer to go batch by batch, and that means that by import, I'm taking it batch by batch, as simple as that. And also another thing is for performance is that you can actually even pick the number. So let me go back to Power BI. So if I come to Power BI right now and I go to my Power Query, if I go to my Power Query, you can see that there are so many things here, but actually I don't need them. I don't need them. Many of them, I don't need them. So if I have wanted to do it, I would have actually deleted them all through. I've deleted them and used only the numbers of columns that I need for the expression, because now it's kind of making the system heavy and it's making your performance also slow. So because it needs to load every columns in the table. So these are one of the things that you have to look out for when it comes to performance. Another thing there is that even while doing your analysis, there are some other things that I can show you. So you notice that you might want to write some DAX queries in your Power BI, but it has now been done in a very good way whereby you can suggest the type using the national NLP. You can use the AI within it and just say that, okay, instead of writing the DAX, you can just type it and say that, okay, so we have one here called the total sales for, let's say, total sales for, or let's just ask how much Nikita sales. Let's just type, actually, let's say Nikita sales or something like that. And we can just generate something from there to be able to see what Nikita got from the sales or from the cash shop. So that is it. Nikita sales was 1 actually. So it counted how many sales it got and the type of DAX code done, and you can see it here. So let me just go back, Control 1. So you can see here, and you just calculate it. You don't need actually to create your DAX all over again, but it's good that you can actually know the DAX. It's good you know it, but also is that you don't need actually to write them anymore. So except it's too complex, but now there's now easier way to do that. Also is that when you're going to Power BI, if you're doing direct query way, you might not need Power Automate really that much. So Power Automate might just be that, okay, it's only when you're doing the import so that I can go for refresh. But for documentation purposes, you definitely know that you can actually use just refresh immediately, even in your Power BI service, because you're using direct query. So it's already connected already. I hope I've been able to answer your question. When it now comes to the licensing part of it, you definitely know that there's something called the pay as you go. So you can also use that feature, and I think it's very low in the price. So you can look at the licensing in Power Platform, and you can also pick it up from there. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So Temi has some question. So Temi, you can unmute and ask your question.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good morning, David. Thank you for the awesome presentation. I really picked so many things from your presentation. But I have 2 questions. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You're audible, yes.
Okay, I have 2 questions. I just wanted to confirm if there's a limit to Dataverse importation, like how many records can come in. Does it also have like a number of data that can be imported to database? And the second question is, can we connect like other database tables, like from SQL to database and then to Power BI?
Good. I like that question. So I'm going to go to Power Apps. So let's pick it up from there so I can answer that very fast. So let me click publish and let me go back to, I just want to just give me a second. So now one thing about Dataverse is that it doesn't have a limit with scalability. That is why it's scalable. That is the major reason. So you can see how it connects to Dataverse, to Synapse, no matter the number of your data sets, no matter the number of your data set. That is why it is scalable. Dataverse, what Microsoft is doing is to make sure that Dataverse does not have a limit, does not have a limit to the numbers of transactions that it can work on. So now if you look at this also, you can see what we call the Azure Synapse. Now, Synapse is actually cloud servicing for data also. And you can see how, and that is the major reason it has a connection to Synapse. So you can connect it to Synapse and from Synapse to Power BI. So instead of going Dataverse straight up to Power BI, you can do Dataverse, Synapse, then Power BI, because Synapse is the engine itself that will make it more scalable for you to be able to use for any numbers of rows or numbers of transactions. For your second question is that can it connect to different data sources? So now you can see that my Dataverse environment is not linked to Synapse, but actually you can make it linked to Synapse and you can continue getting your data from there. But let me now show you the question that you asked for your second question that you asked about connecting to different data sources. So let me show you. Now you have your SQL already, so you can see the SQL here. So this is Excel, this is SharePoint, this is Dataverse, and you have many, you still have many of them. So let me even go back to, so let's say you want to create it from scratch. So let's assume that you want to create it from scratch. So if you go back to, let me click on Dataverse. So let me show you the different connections that you have within Power Apps that you can connect to, apart from even SQL, so that you can see that you have so many things that you can connect to. So let's check.
Awesome.
So now you can see where now you have Dataverse here. But if I click on new connection, so see it, you have the Amazon, you have the Apache, you have Box, you have Dropbox, you have Dynamics 365, you have Dynamics NAV, you have Google Drive, you have Google Sheets, you have Microsoft Dataverse, you have MySQL, you have OneDrive, you have the Oracle database, you have the PostgreSQL, you have the SharePoint, you have the Salesforce. So it can connect to so many databases. Yeah, I mean, so many data sources, depending on the data source that you want. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much, David.
Thank you, Tim.
Do we have any other questions? We still have 10 minutes left before we start with the lunch break.
Yes, I have one question.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, David. That's a very wonderful presentation. I have one question that if we are using Power BI Pro licensing and that we are limitation of 8 refreshes per day. So here that limitation will become in Power Apps. We can only enter 8 entries of sales. Am I right?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I can't hear you. You said something about Pro license. Yes,
So
you're
David,
audio now.
Pro license.
yes.
Okay.
So eight entries. That is 8 refreshes are only we can do in Power BI Pro, right? So we have
Yes.
entry. So we can
Are you
do
saying
only
can we do Dataverse
eight,
in Power BI Pro? Is that what you're saying?
So David,
yes, yes.
let me reiterate the question Harshal have.
Okay.
So there
Yes, please.
was a limitation of the Power BI refreshes, right? If they are going for the Pro, so he would like to know if they are going with this Power Apps, this integration of the Power BI, we may have to do certain many refreshes, right? So his question revolves around there. If you can throw some light there, it will be helpful.
Yeah, so definitely because of the numbers of refreshes, so it's better for you to run it on Power Automate. So Power Automate gives you the number, does not give you the numbers, does not have a limit to the numbers that you can refresh. I hope I've answered that question. I hope so. I hope that is the question. I hope.
Yes.
Okay, if that is the question. But if I don't get your question, please, you can chat me up on LinkedIn. I'll be able to answer it. Maybe I'll get your questions correctly.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, thanks.
Any other question do we have? Like the person can unmute and ask a question. I believe no question as well. I think we can wind up the session.
Yeah, let me stop
Okay.
recording and we'll go to the
Yeah,
together
just
mode.
give me a second, Venkata. So
Sure.
thank you so much for joining everyone. We really appreciate your presence. We hope that you are taking away some powerful learning from this session. Thank you so much, David, as well, for the amazing session and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you so much, David.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very
David,
much.
just yeah, we'll have the Kodak movement, which we started in the morning. Appreciate if everyone can switch on the camera and then we'll take a quick photograph.